You mentioned
Yes, ma'am.
about don't pay your taxes and insurance with your mortgage payment. Could you explain that a little bit more? And if you don't pay it, how do you allocate that money that you save from that?
All right. So there's two things. You're talking about escrow. All right. There are loans that will allow you to opt out of escrow. There are other loans that will not. Okay. So we have to first figure out which loan is which. And because I am not a loan expert, I am not going to say which. You want to talk to a somebody who is an expert in that area. So once you find out if your loan is eligible to opt out of escrow, here's what's happening. Your escrow amount that's added to your mortgage as the taxes and insurance, principal and interest, taxes and insurance, PITI. So when we add that together, that's your mortgage payment. Now, as a free service, and I'm using air quotes here for those of you who can't see, as a free service, the bank says, we're going to set up a savings account for you. Take that money we're going to take your interest payments and your tax payments. We're going to divide it by 12, and then we're going to put that money in a savings account for you. And we're going to pay your taxes and insurance for you every year. All right. But they're putting it in a savings account that pays you no interest, but it has great benefit to the bank because they invest that money. So what we're talking about is there's two main ways that we talk about in the P.I.L.L method to make sure that if you're opting out, you can take advantage of that money. So we were looking at, let's say your $400 is your taxes and insurance. The amount of the escrow is $400 a month. You saw in some of our examples how much money could be saved if we apply that $400 to principal. And then you're saying, well, how do we pay our taxes and insurance? In most states that I work in with my clients, we can pay the taxes and insurance with a credit card. What? And pay interest on the credit card debt? Yes, because the interest you pay on the credit card debt is nowhere near the amount of interest you saved by putting that money on principal on your loan. Have mercy. And we're going to work out a plan. And so, folks, what I'm giving you is an overall picture. We give very specific instructions to individuals on how this can be done. I am not making a blanket statement out here for everybody to use, because if you try this on your own without specific instructions, you could get yourself in very deep financial trouble. So work with a professional, and we will help you to come up with a plan whereby you can use your escrow money to save you thousands upon thousands of dollars in interest payments you don't have to make on your mortgage, and use the very tiny interest payments on a credit card or a line of credit to pay your taxes and insurance. Miss Brenda, does that help?
Yes, but and you would do this at the end of the year, make the payments. Is that what you're stating?
What I'm stating is your taxes and insurance, whenever they're due, that's when you make the payment, whenever they're due.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So because, whatever the due date is. So you pull out your credit card and you pay the taxes. You pull out your credit card and pay the insurance. And it's no different from your bank doing it, except that you're going to get great benefit out of that $400 per month, instead of the bank getting benefit out of your $400 per month that they're using rent free. They're not paying you any rent on using your $400. So can you imagine having 5 million customers who are escrowing all of that money, and the bank is making tons of money on that money, and they don't have to pay a single dime for the use of it? Oh boy, if I was a bank, I would do exactly the same thing.
All right. Thanks, Don. Thanks.
You're so welcome, Miss Brenda.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.